So I guess might as well say some stuff. Probably people watching this on YouTube later. Um, I totally forgot that this was going to be going up on YouTube later, and since I don't have currently any viewers at the moment, I haven't been talking. Well, okay, so I'm going to just treat this as like a super long YouTube video, and if somebody comes in and interacts with me while I watch this, cool. If not, no big deal. First of all, I want to check and make sure that my microphone is all right. All right, that should work, right? Well, that's going to be an issue. Okay, yeah, it's always on. All right, so anyway, I was just making sure that the microphone is working. If you watch that later. Anyway, I'm going to be editing this video also if up until this point anyway. So welcome everybody to World of Warcraft. This is my Alliance Paladin. Now I have historically played a Horde since vanilla, and my very first character that I ever played was a warrior. His name was Grald. I still have Grald today. Grald is 110. The second character that I played and actually like put effort into was my shaman Kazil. He is what my whole gaming identity is named after. He is currently 120. He's spec'd for resto, and I'm always gonna have Kazil being part of my WoW family. Lately, though, Blizzard has been putting out a lot of additional stuff. So, for example, this is an allied race. This right here is a Lightforged Draenei. Now, anybody who is just picking up World of Warcraft cannot play a Lightforged Draenei. They have to level to 110, farm a bunch of reputations to Exalted, and then once they get those to Exalted, they can start playing with a Lightforged Draenei. At the time of this stream, there is the cap is 120, so that's leveling up to 110. Probably would take you maybe a month if you're one of those people that don't get to play all the time. It might take you 6 weeks. That's great though. Like, people say that and they think like in a negative way that that's a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. Taking time to get something done in a game is awesome. In fact, a lot of modern games, and I was watching a video the other day, and it was these people talking about how gamers these days are get into a game, get out of a game, get into a game, get out of it, play for a little bit, be done with it. There's no real time investment in your character. There's no character development. And so it's a shame, but that's how the younger communities are playing games these days. Those of us who've been around for a little while know that there is value in... Oh, let me turn these game sounds down. I like playing with game sound up because... Oh, not quite that low. Let's go to like 4. There we go. Because then I can hear what's going on, and I like the sound of loud combat. I mean, war is loud. But anyway, back to the plebs who call themselves gamers. So they don't really have time investment into a game, and the unfortunate part is gaming companies are recognizing that and making games that are a lot less time investment. Except for Blizzard. Blizzard is still doing a decent job at holding on to the grindy games. And there are quite a few games out there that that play off of, you know, spending a lot of time delving into a character. But anyway, so taking time and getting to max level is kind of a good thing, I think. So you'll know your character by the time you get up there very, very well. And yeah, they've recently updated the leveling experience. And I want to say when they introduced Lightforge Journey, I want to say in the middle of the last expansion, they heavily nerfed the leveling experience. And I don't know why they did that, because it was one of those things where people would get on and they'd probably spend 2 weeks leveling a character to the max, and then taking, you know, doing whatever they wanted to do with the game. So the thought process there was, from the gamer's perspective, we've played this content before. We've played it a lot. We have been playing this game for years, like decades, more than 10 years. We don't really want to play the same content over and over and over again, because it does get stale. And anyway, so from the game maker's perspective, there is, oh hey, what's up? I don't know if you can hear me or not. You can type a message into chat real quick and let me know if you can hear me or not. That should pop up on my screen. I'm just testing that out. But anyway, so from the game maker's perspective, they want us to spend more time in their game. So I can kind of understand both ways. If I can't see a message pop up here in a little bit, there's kind of a delay between when you type in a message and when I see it. So I'm going to check it here on my phone if I need to. This is Solitus. I named him Solitus because it's an amalgamation of two Latin words: sol for sun, light, and lotus, I think, for Paladin. Lightforge Journey Paladin. I know, it's terrible. Alright, I'm going to hop on to my phone here and to see if I can see if there's been any chats. Oh, I see I'm on. Bummer. So I'm going to need to keep... Let me see if there is some settings here that I can get onto. I thought I turned on the overlay. I did. Comments. Yeah, those are on. I just didn't see it. I must have missed it. That's okay. I'll turn that back off, and then I'll get over here and make sure that the screen doesn't capture that. Good. It's only capturing the middle screen. Okay, so I can probably keep my comments going. Let's see, live streaming. This should tell me that I'm on. No, that's not very good. Okay, so what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to load up yet another screen. You're laughing at me. Yeah, I'm sorry. Can you hear me though? Like, you can hear me just fine, right? So let's do, okay, cool. All right, now I can see your chat over to the left here, and then I'll just respond to you if you have any questions. So I'll just keep that up. But anyway, I was just talking about, I don't know how long you've been on. I'm just talking about the leveling experience, how it's changed since the last expansion a little bit, which is kind of nice. In 8.1, they just released that yesterday. They nerfed the experience, meaning that they made it easier to get to max level, or get levels in general. And the zone that I'm in right now was pretty brutal. When the Lightforged and I were released, like it was, man, I would spend, I don't know, a couple hours and get maybe a tenth of a level or something like that. It was really slow. And so they sped that up by quite a lot. So I'm really excited to get on here and level up again. What am I looking for? All right, let's head over here. I've got a couple add-ons. I don't know if you can tell the difference between what you've played before and kind of what I've got going on here. But right here, down on the right below my character, is some buttons that are popping up. That is like probably my favorite mod in Minecraft, or Minecraft, in World of Warcraft. It's called Weak Auras, and it helps you define. Here, I'm just gonna run away from these guys. It helps you define, like, set up which spells you want to come up to next. Actually, it's really good for like telling you when you should be doing certain things. My eyes have never really gotten used to looking way down here at my action bar. I think the buttons are just too small. There's too many of them, and if I can like boil that down to like one button that's popping up like somewhere where I can see it, then that's good. That's what I want. Okay, so here I'm trying to collect Moonrest Garden plans from somebody. Let's take a look at the quest. Find Moonrest Garden plans and return them to the image of Archmage. Yeah, but from what? Oh, maybe I just find them on the ground somewhere? Or do I find them from dead hunters? I don't know. I'll play around a little bit and see if I can find it. Because I don't think it drops off of these guys. I've killed a bunch of these already. Nothing. Alright. If I remember right, this quest was pretty bad back in the day. Ooh, I want to get on and try out my Shadow Priest over here. So maybe once I get a level with Solidus here, I'll switch over to Noctesta. She's my Shadow Priest. Also leveling, not in this zone, but in this continent. They've made some pretty cool changes to Shadow Priest that I'm really, really interested in. I was going to say that I have... the reason I'm playing a Alliance character is because when they came out with these classes, or these races, the allied races, I got to thinking about like how I wanted to play stuff, because I wanted to play the Alliance and I wanted to play the Horde, and the Alliance has a really weird image right now of being like, you know, true good. You know what I mean? Like they're everything that they do is righteous and holy and good, and actually I think that makes for bad storytelling, but like, I don't know. The Horde actually is really divided, and to me it's a much more interesting story than the Alliance is, but I started thinking about how I wanted to play the Alliance characters, and I got to thinking about the different classes, right? So I was like, of the classes, the ones that I think are more good based, that would be, you know, good characters, would be a Paladin, would be a Priest, would be a Monk. So then I labeled those as being my alliance characters. And then so I've been kind of working on, you know, what I would do for the Horde. You know, if I was to consider the Horde to be bad, what would that be? And so that was Death Knight, Demon Hunter, let's see, Warlock, Rogue, those kinds of things. They're more of the bad guy classes, you know, kind of, even though we can use them as players. So that's kind of why I have the Paladin, the Alliance Paladin over here. Also, I don't have music going on because YouTube is super picky about... oh, you know what? I'll bet I'm really stupid. I'll bet the plans are in here. Yeah, there they are. Okay, let's go turn those in, and then let's log over to our priest. We'll keep Solidus here because I want to come back to him, but I want to see the new priest spell animations. I've been leveling her as Shadow. I could level her as Discipline. I think that'd be kind of fun too. Even Holy does. I leveled from 100 to 110 as Holy, and that was amazing. So let's see. Let's go to... here's a Griffin Master. Let's go to an inn. I don't think there's an inn over here, so we'll just fly around, fly over to this village over here. I wish I could have brought you in like ages ago when I first started leveling this guy, because I know that you have played as a Horde, and so it's nice seeing the other side of it. And when we leveled up into, because I think you got into Wrath of the Lich King, right? You played a little bit of that. So I don't know if you remember this zone, but this zone is called Dragon Blight. One of the coolest zones that has stuck around for me for a long time, because there's Galacrass right here. I think, where is he at? He's here somewhere. And his skeleton is like, I think it's right there. That's his head sticking up out of the ground. Biggest dragon that's ever lived. He was actually a drake, just a super, super big drake. And he would either eat other dragons to get bigger. Like, that's pretty much the only prey that he had. And there was a lot of dragons back at the time. Lots of story involved in this expansion, just like there is in the current expansion. The current expansion has tons of story. That was the last zone you played in? Okay, so perfect. So I'm actually just getting started. I should have brought... So I started playing in this zone when I was 58, I think, 59, something like that. Not this zone, but this north rand up here. So I leveled 58, I think it was 59 to 60 something here, 64, and then I came over here to Dragon Blight, and that's where I'm currently at. This town that I'm flying into, though, has a lot of really cool stories. When you get to it, it's being overrun by the undead, right? So right here in front of me is the necropolis of Kel'Thuzad, and I really love the story of World of Warcraft. I don't know if you've ever noticed that or not, but Kel'Thuzad was like Arthas's prime general or whatever, chief general, and he parked his necropolis right next to this village here. So when you get here, it's like being overrun by zombies, and oh man, it's just good fun. I'm hoping this is a rest zone. It is not. Bummer. Where is an inn? Alright, so here's a trick. I don't know if you know this. In World of Warcraft, if you want to know which building can give you rested experience, look for a mailbox. Here's a mailbox right here. Okay, so if I come in here, I should get rested experience. Yep. So that's a real easy way to find a hotel, because they started doing this in vanilla, where they'd put a mailbox outside of your rested, wherever you get rested experience, which is really nice. Okay, so this is Noctesta. I labeled her Noctesta because it was a combination of two Latin words again. I think it was Latin. Nacht meaning night, and something something Esta meaning priest. So she's a night priest. Yeah. So this is a void elf. This is also an allied race that requires exalted, so you got to get up to max level, and so yeah, void elves are pretty cool. The reason I'm leveling these guys up is because if you level one of these races, these allied races up to max level, then you get a fancy transmog. So I don't know if I can show that to you or not. Shift P for appearances. Let's see, sets, and I think I can come down to, if I scroll all the way to the bottom. Nope, that's the oldest. So let's try the top here. I don't know if it'll show me, I don't know if it'll show me the one. I think it'll just show me priest stuff. Yeah. Okay, so it doesn't show me that. Anyway, so this is my void elf. Shadow priest. Click into shadow form here. And I don't know if you can see the glowing. Here, let me get in a better light. I'm kind of feeling like the graphics aren't quite what they should be. Like she's poofing off smoke instead of constantly emitting it, and I don't know if that's part of the deal. So let's try system graphics. Yeah, all of that is decent. Okay, well, so she's just poofing off smoke or shadow, and she's kind of transparent. I don't know if you can see that. Right here, I think you can see the different colors. It's really hard. Like she's just barely transparent, but that's kind of cool. So let's get on her mount. She has, I went and got in the last expansion in Legion, I think last time you visited, for those of you who may watch this later, probably nobody, but if they do, talking to my brother, he visited me a while ago. Anyway, last time you visited, dude, I think I told you that each class had their own class mount. And so this right here is the priest class mount. It's kind of like it's like a shadowy, four-legged, oh no, I'm not going to get there in time. Oh no, I gotta wait. I'm not going to catch it. I've done this before. It's just super fast once it gets going. Okay. Well, anyway, so the shadow priest, if I switched into like holy and got on the same mount, make sure that my mount button is not even over there. Okay, so what is it called? I forget what it's called even. I think it's called like High Priestess something or other. Yeah, High Priest Lightsworn Seeker. Okay, so when I'm in a holy spec and I get on this same bird, it's very light, which is so cool. And the Holy Priest is so pretty. I'm really, really excited to play Priests. Priests are really, really fun. I think they're really, really fun. So then if I were to go into Discipline, Discipline is also really fun. So all three specs in Priests are fun, I think. Grab the same High Priestess. This one is going to be more gray. So when I fly, it's a little bit less yellow in your face. It's a lot more gray. So the idea is that I have some shadow spells, and I have so like Psychic Scream, Shadow Fiend, Schism, Mind Control. Those are all dark spells. Shadow Mend. But then I also have a lot of light spells, penance, all of my healing, a lot of my healing spells, some of my damage spells, even so this is a shadow damage, shadow word pain, smite being so the ethos behind a disciplined priest is that she walks the line between light and shadow, and there is in the story of the game, there is the light side is diametrically opposed to the dark side. And I shouldn't have said light side, dark side. The light and the shadow, right? Um, and the idea is that if they were to converge, destruction would happen. Well, interestingly enough, is if you go back far enough into the lore of World of Warcraft, when everything first started, the only things that existed was light and shadow. And when they touched, creation happened. So discipline priests, I believe, walk that line between light and shadow, and they have a good way of balancing the two powers. Which makes me wonder if they're going to someday, like, have light and shadow come together, thinking that they're going to destroy something, like they're going to get in combat. And everybody's saying, don't fight, you'll destroy everything. And then when they end up fighting, because it's inevitable, something amazing is going to be created. And they're going to be like, oh, maybe we shouldn't keep them apart. Maybe everything we know about the two aren't as bad. Anyway, so I'm going to go back into Shadow Priest, because I think Shadow is pretty fun. Like I said, all three specs are fun. I've just been leveling as Shadow, so I understand Shadow a lot. Shadow has two resources to spend, mana being one of the main ones, and then there's this Insanity. I don't know if it's Insanity or Sanity. Let's see. Insanity. Okay, so when I cast Shadow abilities, I spend mana to do that. In some cases, not all cases. Actually, no cases. Anyway, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. So I generate this thing called Insanity. So a lot of the bad guys, the major bad guys in this game, are influenced by old gods, and old gods, as far as we know, serve the shadow, the darkness. And so these old gods are super bad. Like, anytime that they've ever done anything, it's been like genocide, or like mass, like necromancy, all kinds of stuff like that. It's just been, it's really, really bad. Or like they corrupt an entire species, like the Karaji over in Silithus. So in vanilla, one of the first zones, one of the last zones that you level to, and over here in Kalimdor, was I get whispers all the time to join guilds. Anyway, so the Karaji were corrupted by Cthulhu. Cthulhu being one of the old gods, and he used them as his army to kind of break out and corrupt all of Azeroth. Well, he didn't really understand that the races of Azeroth, could band together and defeat all of his Karaji. They were pretty powerful. They killed some pretty strong people in the lore, and actually created some bad guys from that. Like, some people lost their sons, and it made them go bad in the end. We had to put them down later too, much later in the story. But so that old god was the first one that we met, and his boss battle, when he was first encountered, nobody could beat him. And finally somebody actually did the math, and they were like, this is mathematically impossible to defeat. And so Blizzard had to go in and nerf the boss. And after nerfing him, somebody downed him in, like, I don't know, within hours, I think. So the nerf came out, and then somebody got a kill. Anyway, the second old god that we encounter was in Northrend here. It's in Storm Peaks up here in the Ulduar raid. Now his deal was he got a hold of, so instead of corrupting an entire race, he kind of learned from his brother. I don't actually know that they can communicate, but all of these old gods are imprisoned somewhere. So Cthulhu was imprisoned underneath Karaj, um, and Yogg-Saron was imprisoned underneath Ulduar. Ulduar being one of the Titan construct buildings that the Titans set up to actually keep these old gods imprisoned. Well, old god being as crafty as he is, he found a way to get out and start corrupting the Titan Watchers, the people that were his prisoners, like his prison guards. And he got high enough up to where he could corrupt like pretty much the leader of all the Titan Watchers. And so we had to go in there. We had to break the spell. We had to encounter these Watchers, had to fight them, and we had to break the spell, so to speak, of their corruption, of their mind control. And then we went down there and encounter him, and they had helped us with those if we wanted them to. So anyway, that was the second one. The third one, I believe, was in Uldaman, which is over here in Kalimdor, and I haven't explored that, but Uldum. Uldum had another one. I can't remember his name. But the last one here we had, or was that tomb empty? I can't remember. The last one we're coming up to here is, his name is N'Zoth. And N'Zoth is a pretty bad guy. I don't remember how this works. I think, there we go. It's been a while since I played this. So all these void tentacles that are popping up everywhere, that's one of my trinkets. Let's see, come into character, it's this one here. Touch of the Void. It works really well with the Shadow Priest. I think I've got one of the talents here that, what is it? Shadow Word Pain, periodic damage has a chance to reset the remaining time. Yep. Reduces cooldown of Vampiric Embrace increases healing done. Vampiric Touch also applies Shadow Word Pain. Okay, so I need to start with Vampiric Touch. So come up here, start with Vampiric Touch. This is going to put 2 dots on. And then I'll cast my big nuke. And Shadowy Apparition there is one of my passive abilities. And anytime this dot here does damage, it has a chance of proccing one of these Shadowy Apparitions. So here is my Void form. This is what happens when I get fully insane. I start wrecking stuff. So I turn all like tentacly and shadowy and whatever. So that's kind of cool. That's usually used for doing tons of damage. Yeah. Anyway, so this is this right here puts on 2 dots. This does single target damage, and then I channel this. Oh, that looks really good. That channel. It's like it's sparking. It's like the shadow is sparking. That's cool. I like that a lot. So I'm looking for an engagement ring. It's supposed to drop off of one of these guys. Not particularly any specific ones, but yeah, there we go. So I figured I'd just come out here and level a little bit. Maybe get her a level. What I've been doing before this was getting 5 levels per person. But it was just so slow that it was kind of, I don't know, not really worth doing. Five levels at a time. So I just did 1 level at a time, or even half a level, or eventually I quit because it was just so slow. Okay, let's see what I can find here. Where are all the bad guys? Here we go. Yeah, Shadow Priest is super cool, man. I really, really like Shadow Priest. Let's see. When is the next level that I get? 75? Yeah, that's quite a ways away. The next talent. So until then, let's see, do I get anything new here? 78. Okay, so I'm going to be playing like this for quite some time. She can also do Shadow Word Shield or Power Word Shield, and that's kind of a light spell. I really wish they'd make it like a Shadow Shield. You know, that's basically the same thing, but just a shadow. And then same thing with Levitate. Levitate's like a light ability that I really wish that they would turn into like a shadow ability. Show you what I mean here in a sec. So I've got these light sparkles underneath my feet in shadow form. It's kind of weird. The cool part about Shadow Priest is like they're a mixture between like a bunch of different kinds of damage. So like you look at an Affliction Warlock, they're mostly about dot damage. You know, the more dots you can put on a target, the better. And then you've got somebody like the somebody like the, I don't know, mage, who is all like single target damage. Like when they cast a spell, it does damage. There's no, like, it does all of its damage. There's not really many dots, except for fire mage. And then you've got like channeled spells. I don't know, monk, I guess, would do, like the healing monk would do some channeled spells, lots of channeled spells. This is a little bit of everything. So you've got like your 2 dots, and you've got your single target damage. So Vampiric Touch is pretty cool. It heals you for 50% of the damage it does. Shadow Word Pain here does damage over time. It does like an initial damage, and then it does quite a lot over time. And then you've got Mind Blast here, which is just basically like a nuke. You know, it's on a longer cooldown. It's almost 7-second cooldown, and it does a lot of damage. But it's all up front, right? There's no damage over time. And then there is the Mind Flay, which is the filler spell. That's what we cast when there's nothing really else to cast. And that does a slow. So like, I don't know if you pay attention to this guy. Once I start casting at him, he'll start running at me. And then as soon as I cast Mind Flay, he slows down a lot, letting my damage over time do their work and letting me just deal damage to him before he gets here. So by the time he gets to me, there's not really a lot that he can do. He's almost dead, which is pretty cool, especially if those Void Tentacles are ready to go. I might give up on this golden ring. I think I've farmed for this ring. This is not the first time. So anyway, now that the leveling is nerfed, I'm going to, or buffed, depending on your perspective, I'm going to be probably leveling these guys on a regular basis. So what I'll probably do is I'll just stick them on a stream if I'm going to be leveling, and if I can, and then that stream will just be up on the it won't be as part of any playlist. It'll just be part of the uploads on YouTube, which is a cool part of YouTube. I think it's pretty great that I can just stream to it, and whenever I'm done streaming, it just keeps that. I think that's pretty cool. Okay, let's head on to a different quest up here. Oh, I guess I can find it up here too. Maybe it's one of those things I can kind of find anywhere. Let's try killing this guy. Maybe he's got it. Yeah, so the Power Word Shield is makes me not take any damage. Like, it takes all the damage up to a certain amount. So this will actually protect me from almost 800 damage. So if you watch the damage these guys do to me, if any, Um, it says it's not showing me absorbed damage. It's not doing damage to me. Why don't I see that? That's okay. I'm not that worried about it. I thought it was under one of these. Nope. That's okay. I'm not really worried about it. Do you do Twitter? Do you have like a Twitter account that you watch regularly? Oh, you don't? Okay. No worries. There it is. Found it. Sweet. This guy had it the whole time. Probably not. Let's go find... Let's see. Here's our next quest. Now we'll just turn this in. See if it gives us something else to do in this area. I also installed this add-on. Where's the turn in? Here we go. This add-on, it makes the interaction with the NPCs a little bit more dynamic. When you click on these guys, it brings up, instead of bringing up the normal quest thing that looks like this, it brings up this. So it's required that I have this golden engagement ring, and then when I have that, I could just left click on this chat box here, and it brings up my rewards. So I choose which reward I want. I can read the text. It actually brings it in a really nice to read text. So I just right click and I can cycle through the text. So if I want to read it, it breaks it down into chunks. So instead of me reading all of this, it brings it into like this kind of format. And it also tags the reward that has the most value. So if none of them are an upgrade for you, then you can select the one that has the gold coin icon on it, telling you that that's the most valuable of the two. When you sell it, it will sell for more, which is not true because this one over here, vendor sells for 4 gold. That's weird. Anyway, but this is an upgrade for me, so I'm going to select this. And then left click on that, and then I get my reward. So let's go to my bags, and I want this to go on to here. I am wearing heirloom gear that levels up with me, so this ring right here is going to be good for me until I get to 100, and then I can either put more gold into it, making it more we'll go up to like 110, or I can just, use whatever leveling I have, leveling items that I find. Okay, let's go grab this flying machine engine, and we're helping one of these dwarves rebuild their flying machine. They don't call them airplanes. A flying machine. Here's the engine. I'm expecting to be attacked. Yep. Nope, that's just another player. Okay. Then they want me to come up here into the venture company, which is goblins. So I'm going to kill goblins for these guys. I think it's goblins. Also bad humans. Oh, trolls. Here we go. So apparently trolls are bad. Some trolls are bad. We can't judge. It'd be really cool too if the slow from Mind Flay persisted for a couple seconds after you got done casting, so that you could cast something else, restart casting Mind Flay, and it would retain the dot. or retain the slow, rather. Because if I need to cast something else, the slow comes off immediately as soon as you're done casting. All I'm having to do here is kill a bunch of guys, so let's go grab a bunch of guys. Not a lot in the area. But here's something cool about the Shadow Priest. Once you get your insanity up to 100, all you gotta do is find some guys to dot up. So we'll use this here like this. Dot up a bunch of guys. See if this kills me. Put up a shield. Then cast this. And it should nuke them. It did not nuke them. I'm probably gonna die. So let's get this rolling here. Our shield back up. This guy's doing the most damage to me. Put our shield back up. Can't. For a couple more seconds here. Live. Heal. This is my heal here. Whew, that was intense. At lower levels, when you have a bunch of guys dotted up like that, and you cast your eruption, it will kill them all. Not so at level 66. Good to know. Okay, that costs mana. Alright, we got 6 more of these guys to kill. Let's get him dotted up. Finish killing this guy. No, I won't cast that. He's almost dead. Okay, we're pretty close to being full health. Let's keep working on it. There we go. Oh, I just blew that guy up real fast. The longer you stay in the insanity here, and you do that by casting stuff, the more, I think the more damage you do, or if it just, yeah, the more damage you do. It's ridiculous. It's kind of fun. So in like a raid situation, or like in a dungeon situation, that can ramp up pretty good. It's kind of fun. Wow. Okay, that was kind of fun. Killed that guy pretty quick. Probably gonna play for another 30 minutes here, and then I'll go to the gym, and then I'll come back. Have work tomorrow and Friday, so I won't probably do any streaming tomorrow, but I would like, on the days that I have off, to at least stream for a little bit. That'd be kind of fun. Or at the very least, you know, in the afternoon when I'm, maybe my wife being downstairs or something. Okay, now Noctesta is 67. Cool. And we unlocked a couple of dungeons that we could queue for. I think both of those, all of those will take longer. Wow, I unlocked quite a few. I think those will all take longer than 30 minutes, so holy cow. Did I just unlock all of them? Pretty much. Oh, that's doing Burning Crusade, and yeah, so there's 5 in the Burning Crusade and expansion, and then 3 in the Wrath of the Lich King. So normally you wouldn't have been able to level out here until 70, but they changed the scaling so that when you come out here, you can come out here a lot earlier, 10 levels earlier. Because leveling in the Burning Crusade, while nostalgic, isn't particularly fast. Not that that was really an issue anyway. Oh, I did survive, yep. I did not. Oh, well, what a time for him to come in, right in the middle of me, like, being blown up by 5 guys. Yeah, I did survive. And I didn't actually use any cooldowns, which I should have probably, but... I was just, I don't know if you know, but this video, if you wanted to go back and check this out later, you can. It'll be up on YouTube if you want. Oh, looks like we have a quest over here too. Did he catch a glimpse of the stream? I hope you didn't get in trouble. Oh, okay. Oh, really? That might be... I don't know, it looks like it's still running pretty good on my other screen here. Can't tell about volume though. Oh. That's awesome. That's good stuff. Well, I'm glad it's working. Good. Cool, cool. Oh man, that's too funny. I like it. Does this make you want to play Shadow Priest? Oh, so I gotta kill a couple of guys while I'm here. Some Meat Pie. I think I saw him right over here. And then some Foreman. Probably up on top. There's Meat Pie. See if I can get him by himself. Sweet, I did. Oh, you're just gonna stand there? Awesome. Oh man, that's a long stun. Dang. Well, meat pie wasn't a problem. He went down quick. Let's try CCing that guy. Does not last very long. And let's try, instead of Mind Flay, we'll do... That works. Never mind, he's dead. There's some AoE spells. Area of Effect spells. Mind Seer. It works like Mind Flay without the slow. It's a channeled ability. But it hits everybody in an area. So when I cast it on... This is not a good example, but I'll cast it on this guy just to show you what it's like. So it hits him and then it bounces off. If there was other people in the area, it would hit them too, but you can't see it. All right. What is her professions? Okay, so herbalism and skinning. Wonder why I did that. Herbalism makes sense. She could have been a scriber, an alchemist, couple other things, I suppose. But the skinning doesn't make any sense other than just for making money. But unless I'm selling it... Oh, hey, sweet. Now we have a flight path here. Cool.
The Naru have not forgotten us.
How are you?
Holy cow, that opened up a bunch of quests. So see here, I could just right click through this and read this. It makes it, breaks it down. Alright, see you later, man. Breaks us down into easier to read chunks.
What can I do for you?
Good day to you.
Alright, well, if you're taking off, I think I might just log out here and go to the gym, come back and do some stuff later then. Let's see, I think there's a place to rest there. I don't think there is any place here in Cholazar Basin that I've unlocked yet. Kind of wish the chat would work. I gotta figure out how to bring that into my overlays. Comments. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how to tie that in. I'll look into that later. Oh, yeah, that's comments, not chat. Okay, that's why. That makes sense. Cool. All right, that's it. See you guys next time.